Hello, this is the LEGO Star Wars The Last Jedi ATM-6 First Order Heavy Assault Walker. The first order of business for this review is to establish the size of this thing and to talk about its scale. Because in universe, we already know that this is supposed to dwarf the beloved walkers from Empire Strikes Back. Those are supposed to be roughly about yay tall. But when I look at the box on the front of the box, it makes this walker here actually look smaller than it is. And I look at the back of the box and it makes it look bigger than it really is. So here's a comparison straight up between the new walker and the most recent rendition of the previous one from LEGO. These two are essentially the same size, at least on the outside, but on the inside the ATM-6 actually has a lot less room. Now the legs of the new walker have all the articulation that I would expect and ask for. Got a good range of motion, although it's not able to very effectively stand on three legs. I think there are some poses, very specific ones, that allow you to kind of get it onto three legs, but I wouldn't really expect that. But for the most part, this is just what you need to be able to do some walking style poses. You know, you don't have to be completely all the way on the ground. It doesn't need to be perfectly level. So that's all working out well. Actually, the range of motion is better than I would have expected front to back, just how far you can make these things go. That'll probably be useful for some damage, you know, half down or completely downed kind of scenes you might want to make. That includes the ability to bring the rear feet forward and back. They look nice. Got little linkages on there. You can kind of see the linkages move around a bit. That also applies to the front feet, which are a little bit strange in their design, but that's right from the canonical design. Some things are a little bit gappy. It doesn't look all that great from the inside, but overall I think the proportions of this are done pretty well. All of the legs have some greebling, and then when we move up to the head, this is kind of miniaturized here as it needs to be for the scale. I like the use of these kind of foot pieces here to bring in a little extra texture for the beard, if you will. These are kind of make pretend cannons up here, but it also has built into the chin area a couple of spring-loaded shooters that you can fire off by reaching beneath there. You can see the tails of them sticking out towards the back of the neck. The neck is able to articulate side to side at 2 points as before, so you've got just the head swiveling and then you've got the entire neck being able to move back and forth, so you can get that funny look out of it. They've tried to shape up the eyes pretty realistically, or appropriately in terms of their shape. Got these cannons over on the sides as well, and then all of the roof will open up and the front opens down to give you better access. The driving compartment only holds one single figure and he doesn't have any detailing around him, but there is a pretty nice printed inverted tile here, 2x2, so that's print on it, and the studs are on the back side. That's all you get really for detail in here at all. I think by far the coolest feature of this build is the Mega Calibur 6 cannon, which in LEGO form actually has a 6-stud shooter on it that's able to move in and out and remotely angle up and down. So by default you can kind of just keep it tucked away so you barely see it from the side, and then you kind of extend it out and then you're able to remotely change its angle so it can work as an artillery barrage weapon, and you also get to rotate this gear back here. So I'm just operating this, it's able to slide in and out. You rotate that and it fires off the individual studs, which then get lost all over your room and you'll never see them again. Along the back are these canisters, which in real life would be huge, and I'm assuming that those are going to be kind of the sweet spots that you want to shoot out to take the entire walker down. Now for the inside of the body. So this opens up, nothing really to do or see there. This opens up and you can put a stormtrooper, maybe two on either side, and they also have a clip on either side. A little bit of storage for an extra laser beam or two to use with the spring-loaded shooters, but that's not very generous in terms of its space. And they also have this openable little cabinet over here on either side. One side has just this container with 2 single studs for your 6-stud shooter. The other side has 6, but they're actually not even in a box. So it's using the exact same sort of setup with just the bracket there, and they've just stacked the studs up. So you just get some spares. You notice that the design is slightly asymmetric from side to side as per the design of the real thing. And looking around here, again, same thing with just one spot for a maximum of 2 people that can sit in there if you, or can stand if you just angle them right. And there's nothing more to see up here. And that's just that. Here are the 2 named hero figures with Jedi Rey on the left and the new Captain Poe Dameron on the right. Rey really has a style that she's not anxious to change up. I mean, every bit of that print is different all the way through, but it's very, very similar, just her garb overall. But she has a different hairpiece. Poe is looking more cool guy Han Solo-esque than ever. And Rey's lightsaber blade is trans light blue, not trans medium blue. Got a nice mold for the kind of ponytail section of the hair on the back there. You can see a little bit of Poe's alternate face, at least the 5 o'clock shadow, a little bit of stubble showing through, but that doesn't look bad to me at all. At least you can't see the smile there. And you do get alternate faces for both of these, of course. On the left here is the new First Order Walker driver, who uses the same mold as the Flame Trooper. It's a pretty cool looking dude, kind of halfway in between the new and the old, although the overall face looks a lot more like the new. And the body and the garb, the outfit looks more like the old to me. And then they just give you one regular standard First Order Stormtrooper. Would have liked another one of those, maybe a couple more. No alternate faces for either of these, but on the front, Angry Clone. Why? Last up is an unnamed Resistance Trooper. I think this figure looks pretty good. Has a little bit of metallic printing on the front for the buckle there, and his weapon is the dark pearl gray or gunmetal gray color, not black. I like these helmets. Looks really nice. You're not able to raise the visor because the visor is dual molded into the main part of the helmet, but you can bring up kind of the chin guard there. You could also just leave that off entirely for a little bit of a different look, but I think that movable piece has a nice look to it. It's a slightly different type of plastic, a little bit softer to make sure it doesn't shatter accidentally, so the level of shininess and also the hue is just ever so slightly off, but it does not bug me. I appreciate the little paint application behind that movable section as well. And there's the print on the back, which shows that he's actually wearing a hoodie. He does not have any alternate face though, but I think his normal face is pretty generic and very useful. The price to part ratio for this set is absolutely normal, and in fact much lower than many of the current non-licensed LEGO sets. But the fact that it's the same size as the 2014 Walker and costs almost a third more in the US and has less interior space doesn't feel good to me. Especially since it comes with just one driver and one single lone ground trooper. Now I think they've done a really good job with the Mega Calibur cannon and how it's integrated in and how it plays, but it doesn't feel like a good enough trade-off for me. I completely understand the use of the same size as the previous Walker. That's just kind of mandatory to keep the overall price within anything close to a reasonable range. And once again, this is a very sturdy build with a good amount of articulation, and it's actually pretty fun to put together. It has some interesting techniques. Nothing too weird, nothing frustrating, difficult to put together, just interesting. But it's too bad about the price. So that's it for my look at this ATM6. Hope that you've enjoyed the review and that I showed you everything you wanted to see here. You can check out more reviews as well as custom builds on my channel, and I've got more videos on the way, so stay tuned, and I'll talk to you again soon.